This is Events Demystified, and I am your host, Anka. And you might be wondering, Anka, where are you? What's happening? What happened to your studio? Well. Right after the craziness of the season, especially June, I took off and I am in the middle of nowhere. I have no signal. I have no Wi-Fi. I have not even phone coverage, nothing. I am camping. And I know that sounds crazy, but I love it. Obviously, here's my face when I camp. I do put on lipstick just in case, but that's about it. And I just woke up too. So yeah, this is the best you get, okay? Anyway, listen to those sounds. What you're hearing basically is birds and the river behind me. Everyone has left to go to the hot springs, which is great. And there is a bug. Okay, don't worry about the bug, but I'm gonna fight it off. I know I'm gonna fight it off. And I just wanted to record this as a kickstart to our 2-year anniversary. Well, 2, not 4. 2-year anniversary, which is amazing, is going to be fantastic. I have great lineup of featured guests, and I've already kind of did a little bit of shout out on Instagram, and do follow our Instagram, Events Demystified Podcast, if you have not so far. And I will be releasing every new episode on Friday in July, every Friday in July, which is sort of different than our regular schedule. I want to make July a little bit special just because it's the anniversary, and last year I did the same thing, was great, and I'm going to do the same thing this year. I just wanted to have a kickoff to this amazing lineup of episodes, and this episode is releasing on July 2nd, right before 4th of July, if I get out of here alive. Well, we'll see. So far, we have not seen any bears. We did see some critters, and there was a mouse attacking us last night. But that's a different story. I think we can survive a mouse. I mean, we got the guns out, we got machete, we got bear spray. We were prepared. I'm just saying, that mouse, I'm glad that he ran away because he would have stood no chance. And I don't personally like to kill, animals. I mean, unless they're attacking me or my children, that's when I fight them off. Okay, totally off subject. I don't even know how I got there. What I'm trying to say is, it's been an amazing 2 years. I can't even believe that this pet project of mine got to have such a diverse audience, and it's a global audience at this point. I haven't even paid attention to the charts until recently, because that's not the reason why I'm doing it in the first place. But it was funny because I was talking to someone that's way more podcast school than I, and it's well, do you know where your podcast is on the charts? I'm like, no, I don't care. Whatever. I don't care. It's whatever it is, as long as impacts someone's life, especially if you're in the event industry. But then I got curious, and I'm okay, let me just check. So it was so surprising to see that it's in some of the top 10 charts in countries I think I mentioned this on the podcast once, Hungary, and somewhere in Asia, and South America, and somewhere in Africa. I'm huh? Okay, that's great. Anyway, I am grateful. I am grateful for every single one of you that have, invested some time listening, but also for all the amazing guests that have made it possible to share all this knowledge and the expertise and all the tips and all the do's and don'ts when it comes to events, event productions, event technology, and especially in 2020, virtual events, and now as we're moving into hybrid events and hopefully back to in-person events, where I'm going to be probably picking up the initial topic of what this podcast was started around, which was production, audio, visual, and lighting. It's just so funny though, because I feel how the industry was changing last year. I had to adapt as well to serve the needs of what's important for event professionals. What is it that they need to learn about, they need to hear about? So that's how we kind of transition a little bit, even with the name change, into a more general event demystified topic of discussion, because I wanted to give everyone the opportunity to, tap in and maybe learn a thing or two. Yes, nonprofit fundraisers and nonprofits in general are kind of like my niche, but at the same time, I wanted to open it up for conferences. And funny enough, this year has been just conferences and just a few of the nonprofits. Last year was all nonprofits. So you have to be open to change. And that's something that personally I've always wanted to be able to change with the season, be able to adapt, be able to be flexible. And the same thing I applied for this podcast too, just be flexible. And even in the range of guests that I have invited, I wanted to have something for everyone in the event industry. Maybe not truly everyone, because I have not talked about, food and beverage. I haven't covered catering so much. I haven't covered, the back of house when it comes to events. But those are actually great topic ideas, and maybe I'll take note to do that in the future. In the meantime, focusing on what's coming up next this month, we will have an amazing episode with Samantha Swaim of Swaim Strategies, and she is the queen of nonprofits. That's all she works on, that's all she hosts and produces, and she's been in the industry for so long, and you're not going to want to miss that episode, especially if you're a nonprofit. That's going to be very valuable to you. Then I have Julius Solaris, which was a great honor to have on the show, especially knowing how busy the man is. It was amazing to just catch up with him right after one of his first in-person conferences he has joined, and we talked a little bit about that. We talked about the execution, we talked about the production, we talked about virtual events, we talked about the future of hybrid events, and I just loved getting his take on things and where we are as an industry. I've always followed Julius for his trends every year, so a little bit of like trying to look into that, magic crystal ball of Julius's. I wanted to find out, hey, so what do you think about what's happening in 2022? And where are we going from here? So if you're interested about that, make sure you listen to that episode. Then I also have a great friend of mine from Endless Events, John, and John is a sweetheart. We're talking Romanian, Italian. We're just trying to hey, I'm Romanian, you're Italian. We're so close. Let's see if we can rap in Romanian and Italian. That didn't work. Anyway, we tried. John brings his perspective with experience design, and especially as an architect of experiences in the virtual world. That has been a great aha episode from the production standpoint, from the technology standpoint, and just talking in general, how do you create experiences that connect people? Because at the end of the day, technology and the production and everything that we do is just a means to connecting people, to giving people an opportunity to have a great experience, but also connect. So that's going to be another episode that you're going to want to tap in. And again, I don't think this is going to be necessarily in this order that I'm going to release it. It's going to be probably in the order of how fast am I going to edit each episode. So the next one in July is going to be a great episode focused on nonprofits to wrap things up this month with this idea of serving the nonprofit sector and the for-profit sector. And we tap into this idea of if you have a mission and a cause and something that you're rooting for and you really want to make an impact, how do you start the nonprofit in the first place? We're kind of going back to the basics, right? Only to have the foundation so we can build back up again. And this episode, I am talking a lot about what does it mean and what is the structure that you're looking at and what should be some of the best practices that you should follow to make sure that you're successful and your nonprofit does get to make an impact and it doesn't just get lost or failing because it cannot get off the ground. And in this last episode, I'm going to feature Travis Johnson with the Nonprofit Architect. And Travis has quite the story. And you're going to want to listen because if anybody overcame a lot of adversity to get to where they're at right now, I think probably that would be Travis. So anyway, the lineup is amazing and you're going to get a lot. So I hope you do put in your calendar every Friday in July and you're going to tune in, and I would love to hear your feedback. And you can always find me on social media. If you cannot find me on social media, there's something wrong, okay? Maybe I never escaped camping, or maybe we did have a bunch of mice attacking us, or who knows, a bear. I mean, this is bear country. So do find me on social media, DM me, or send me an email, podcast@trifanevents.com, and also on WhatsApp. So I open up WhatsApp, guys, and I have my phone number listed, and I'm gonna put it here so you can see it. Please do not text me. I don't respond to text. However, I do respond to WhatsApp, so make sure that you install the app if you don't have it. And the reason why I want to use WhatsApp is because I want to open it up to this global audience, right? Because not everybody can text if they're in some country, a different part of the world. But WhatsApp is pretty open globally as far as it goes, and I actually use WhatsApp a lot for communicating with a lot of my contacts, especially overseas, and my family as well. Yeah, it's great. So that's something that I can track, and I know that if I have everything there, I will take note of it. So I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear if the podcast has impacted you one way or another, and what way, and if you have ideas as to what type of topics we should cover, or maybe what type of discussion points, or what type of guest I should feature. Any of those things that will relate to the podcast would be amazing. If you have something personal to tell me, well, unless it's super, super important, maybe just keep it to yourself. Anyway, I wanted to also acknowledge the fact that FABLESCORE has been working so hard behind the scenes, producing the original track that you hear, part of this episode. And I wanted to give them a shout out because this month, I'm also releasing a crunchier version of the podcast theme song. And I wanted you to hear it firsthand. I've actually posted it on social just this week as a little sneak peek because it's great and I'm going to rock on it, and so should you. And I'll probably use it, for some of the upcoming episodes, the ones that are a little bit more like cool. I don't know. I haven't decided, but just wanted to give you a little sniff of what that actually sounds like. And right now I'm actually playing it from my phone because again, I am camping. The sound quality of what this whole thing is, I mean, you're gonna have to forgive me, but at the same time, I'm really enjoying being in nature and taking in the fresh air. And a little bit of dust too, okay? And there's some amazing butterflies. Just yesterday, we were on the river and we're just chilling because it was like super hot outside. And we saw this hawk, and it has a nest like right here in one of those trees. And it just like dove into the water and got a fish and was holding to it for dear life. And it just circled around and then went to its nest. And we're thinking, okay, I must have some, I don't know, like hawk babies. I don't know. It was just so amazing. And yeah, I love nature. Obviously, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm like dry camping like, a true Idahoan. And it's been fun so far, and I'll probably just go over to the hot springs after this is done, just so that I can enjoy the hot springs before it's like 105 degrees. I don't know. We got this heat wave that is being coming through the Pacific Northwest. I feel for all the people that, especially in places that don't have AC or they can't retrieve into the mountains like we have, I hope you stay safe. I hope you stay cool, and make sure that you stay healthy. Okay, to the soundtrack. This is the fifth. That's actually the name of the podcast, the soundtrack. And it's a remix, and I hope you will enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy my dance moves, hey, don't worry about it. Invent your own. Those are mine. Hey. Okay, let me start this so you see. It's awesome. Okay, so make sure you're ready, situated to rock on this song because it's amazing. Okay, now I'm so tired. I need to catch my breath. And it's 100 degrees here. Whew. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna have to cut that out. Yeah, probably, or maybe I'll leave it. I don't know, it depends on what mood you're gonna catch me when I'm editing this. Oh. Whew. Okay, well, well, this is it, okay? Well, I'm catching my breath because this was awesome. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Don't grade me on my dancing, please. Yeah, I don't have any skills when it comes to dancing, but you know what? That's not gonna stop me from doing my moves. You gotta do yours and just send them to me. Okay, maybe not. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I had something more in depth that I wanted to share, but now that I'm in the nature and I'm actually pretty relaxed, I just don't feel like going into that state of mind to pull all that out. So I'll probably share it later. I do have to say that I had this post on my Instagram, my company's Instagram, _events, and I just wanted to share something that I went through, as a struggle, something that I felt like I overcame because I put so much intent into it and so much will and discipline and also faith that yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do hard things, because it's been a crazy season. And I know I'm not the only one that has gone through a crazy season in the last, 6-9 months. I was joking with one of my friends and I was telling her, you know what? I don't have amazing birth stories. Okay. I just don't. I had horrible birth stories. I do have 2 children and I love them to death, but the whole birth story, it was nightmare. So I was just joking with my friend and I was telling her, birthing this new strength out of me, actually, it felt harder than birthing those children because it was such an intentional dedication day in and day out. And there were days when I just failed miserably, and there were days when I felt like I was conquering the world, and then I would fall. And it was a journey. If you ever been through something that you needed to grieve through and you needed to heal from, you know that that's never linear. You know how hard it can be to just push through and just go through each one of the steps, and the progress is never fast. It's always so slow. But as long as you go in the same direction, and even if those movements are slow and sloth-like, you're gonna get somewhere. You're gonna get to the other side. So I hope that's an encouragement to you if you're going through something like that, and if you're struggling through a circumstance or a situation that you feel like you don't see the end of it. And if it encouraged you, that means it did the job that I wanted to do by opening up and being vulnerable about it. So yeah, that's all I have to say today. And I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to connecting with you, and I look forward to inviting more amazing guests and producing more podcast episodes. And do stay in touch with me. Sometimes you feel like you're on this side of the microphone or of the screen and it's just you, but I know there's a lot of you out there. So thank you. I appreciate you, and stay tuned for all the amazing episodes that are coming up in July.